Hey, how's it going? Hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel. I just want to give some random current thoughts on the market. At the time right now, there is a bit of a dump going on in the market, kind of similar to what we had about half a week ago. So it's kind of weird. Bitcoin's been doing this thing of dump, and occasional slow climb, and ostensibly it's still kind of in a range, right, between 90 and 100, but today it's kind of dumped at the moment about 4 or 5% in the last 24 hours. So most of it was only a few hours ago, and Ethereum's dumped even more, like 10%. A lot of other big alts have dumped similar amounts. Solana's dumped 12% in the last 24 hours. So it's the usual crap in the market. The fear and greed index, it was hovering in the midpoint before. Now it's gone down. It's gone to 29. It's gone back to the fear stage. It's not in the red zone, but it's in the orange zone. So overall, global market cap is down 5-6%. It's so weird because, like, on the one hand it's a dump, and you could panic over it, and on the other hand it's just normal these days. This kind of shit has been happening for a while now, for a few weeks and a few low number of months. It's just been teasing us, like, is it going to stay 90 to 100, or is it going to go lower? Is it going to go down to 75, as some people are saying? And some people are saying it has to go there before it pumps. I would love to believe that. There's a lot of things I would love to believe. I would love to believe that Bitcoin's going to pump soon. I would love to believe it doesn't have to go down to 75 before it pumps, but I would love to believe that if it goes to 75, that would be okay if it pumps after. I would love to believe it's going to pump at all this year, and that's not really clear. I've been watching Ben Cowan. There's a good chance that you listen to him as well. He's a cool guy. He's not he's got no crystal ball, but he does find interesting relationships, at least historical, that he thinks could be relevant going forward, and a lot of them are not really anything that you can base trading decisions on, but they just add to the general feeling about the market, and either validate some feelings or tell you that maybe some of them are wrong. And the way I see it is this: he's shown that all altcoins, but basically Bitcoin is the daddy right now, and everything else doesn't matter. And the stats just prove it. Over the last months, all alts have basically bled. And they tease us occasionally into this kind of, looks like they're it's the start of altcoin season, but it isn't, and they pair those gains. And it used to be that altcoins may be bleeding, but at least Ethereum is still there as the daddy of altcoins. But Ethereum has had such a poor showing as well. And I love to hold Ethereum because you can swap it really easily, and there's a lot in the ecosystem. But right now, I don't think anybody can justify holding anything except Bitcoin. There's just no point in holding anything. I'm not being a Bitcoin maxi. I'm just saying that right now, there's nothing worth holding except Bitcoin. And I'll even go further to say this, that even Bitcoin is not looking all that good to hold right now. It may have topped, right? And if it's topped, then you don't want to hold it. Well, it depends on your view. Some people are just buy and hold all the way, but a lot of people would prefer not to hold it through a crash. So it could have topped out. It could have hit the all-time high, and there won't be another one for like 4 years. And this is it. We're on a slow bleed, which in retrospect will be a crash. I actually think it might be sensible to reduce holdings. Well, I said already, only hold Bitcoin. And given that, it might be sensible to reduce the holdings as well. Now, in order to limit the downside. Now, of course, that's going to limit the upside as well. But overall, if you look at the macroeconomics, we're still in quantitative tightening, and there won't be many interest rate rises this year. And the inflation problem, we haven't seen the end of it yet. It kind of looks like it's under control, but I don't know. If you ask a lot of people, they don't really believe the stats. So, it's and then you've got Trump. Now I know he promises a lot, but for me, Trump is there to kind of rescue a dying empire. You may not like me saying that, but that's the way I look at it about what's happening to the West lately. Don't get me wrong, I think Europe is in even worse shape, and I think possibly UK is in even worse shape than Europe, although possibly with better prospects longer term. And out of the entire West, America's in the best shape, and if any person's going to turn it around, it's going to be Trump. I think, like him or not, for the economy, he's a much better bet than Biden. Biden was just treading water for 4 years, I guess, until whoever came in next. So Trump is there to turn things around. But the thing is, we all know how volatile a presidency is with Trump. Doesn't matter whether you like him or not. He started a trade war. He's introduced tariffs. It's a gamble. Either he's going to pull it off, or he's going to make things a lot worse. So, and at the very least, the markets are going to be volatile this year in his first year back. So, is it a great time to be holding Bitcoin? I really don't know about that. I think there's a huge downside risk, and right now, kind of limited upside risk because I don't know. At best, we're in a range. We're in a kind of horizontal channel, but it's kind of looking a little bit dodgy, like it might be a descending channel. So why would you hold in a descending channel? I guess it's always the whole thing that it could break out at any moment, right? And you don't want to be, you want to be holding at that point, and capturing that pump. And if you don't, you could potentially lose out. But I don't know. If I look historically, although alts can pump literally in less than a week, that doesn't really happen with Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, there's more of a bull run, and it takes weeks to get into it and then to really ride it. So I actually don't think there's much risk in reducing holdings right now and just playing it a bit safe. Nobody wants to believe that we're not on the cusp of a bull run, but I'm now starting to think that it might be much later in the year. If there's going to be a bull run, that it won't happen till later in the year. I mean, look at us, right? We're about to enter March. It doesn't look any better right now. Things might take off in the summer, but I do think if they do, it'll be a slow pickup. And I agree with Ben Cowan. I just think alts are the wrong place to be right now. I'm sick of them teasing and appearing to start a pump, and sometimes they'll have big pump days and they never last long. I think the only time to be good in alts right now is after they've bled, after they've had a big red candle day, like today. I actually think, in a way, I mean, I sort of don't dare do it, but if you like that play, it's actually a good day to buy, because they'll probably go up 10% tomorrow. That's kind of the way I look at it. But of course, it's risky, right? Because potentially they could go down even worse tomorrow. But I have a sneaky feeling, this always seems to happen, that it's always a good day to buy after alts bleed a lot in a single day. So yeah. The other thing I would say is, obviously, if you're going to reduce your holdings strategically, it's not, then it kind of makes sense as well, I think, to not do it immediately as an emotional reaction, but wait for the market to recover, and it will recover. Not only alts, I think Bitcoin will go back up again tomorrow. I'm not concerned about losing 5% in a day. It'll just go back up, I think. So yeah, interesting times. Maybe in the short term, not the immediate term, maybe in the short term, possibly reduce holdings and just sit on cash. And but of course, be ready to open, either go back into Bitcoin or possibly go back into Ethereum. Like Ben Cowan says, it looks like alts are just going to keep bleeding until quantitative tightening stops. And we know what quantitative tightening is, right? It's the Fed removing liquidity from the market because of COVID, because of how much liquidity was increased at that time. And really, the brakes are still on the economy. This is the thing I don't think a lot of people understand. The brakes are still on the economy. It's not like just because interest rates are starting to go up with a few rises this year, it's not like the economy's starting to accelerate again. It's not. The brakes are still on. The brakes are still on, and they're only just, the brakes are starting to be reduced in force, but they're still on. So this is why a lot of people can't find a job right now. This is why really the economy is still kind of shaky. So there's no point in holding alts right now. Don't be deceived by the AI gold rush in the stock market. I think the alts are more telling of the real state of the economy in a way. So I wouldn't hold any, and that's what I think. Let me know what you think anyway.